incredible. The same language that's on these ruins is in Dr. Shepherd's journal. And what's even more amazing is that he interpreted this language. He must have figured it out somehow. But wait a minute. This looks like the exact same writing that was on the rock that we found in that really awesome cave. And he even wrote down what it says. Let's see what it says. Okay. For the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Exodus 34:14. Well, that's odd. Why is God jealous? Well, I think we need some help because he doesn't explain that scripture in this journal. So maybe we need to look at something else for a hint. Let's see. What about Dr. Shepherd's Bible? Oh, his Bible may have some clues and hints in it. All right, so let's get. Whew, this is heavy. You have to have so much in here. All right, here we go. All right, here's his Bible. Let's see if he left any kind of clues as to what jealous God means. Okay, not here. No. Wait a minute. He has a whole bunch of writing right here in this book of Exodus. You know what? Maybe this will be a clue to help us figure out what the name means. Okay, so I will take this back and we'll go back to camp and read what it has to say. Our story begins with God speaking to the Israelites on top of the mountain. He had the Israelites promise to obey all of God's commands and laws and not to worship any other god besides Him. The people all agreed to this promise. Now, while all of these other things were happening, Moses climbed up the mountain to go to the very top to speak with God. God gave Moses something that was very important. Do you know what it was? It was 2 stone tablets, and I don't mean the electronic kind. I mean it's kind of like a rock, okay? But on these 2 stone tablets were the 10 commandments written out by God. Moses got these 2 stone tablets, the 10 commandments, and he took them back down to the people. Now, when he got to the very bottom of the mountain, he saw something that made him furious. He was so angry that he threw the tablets down onto the ground and broke them. What was it that made him so mad? The people had broken their promise to God and were now spending all of their time with a different God. And it was a golden statue of a calf. Yeah, you heard me, a calf. Yeah, that's how crazy it was, okay? This God wasn't even real, and they were worshiping it instead of the God that was literally speaking to them. But they broke their promise. Moses had to go back to God and ask Him for forgiveness for these people worshiping this other God and breaking their promise. Now, God, of course, He gave them mercy and forgiveness, but He made them agree all over again to the promise. Of course, the people agreed not to worship any other gods and to obey His commands and laws. You see, how much time do you spend with God? God is right there. Yet sometimes we will get so focused on everything else that takes up our time, and we will go and spend all of our time with something else. How much time do you spend with God throughout the day? I think I understand what the name jealous God means. Have you ever thought that your parents might love your sibling more than you? You get jealous when your parents show them all of this love and attention. That's how God felt in this story. He created the Israelites and He loved them. He wanted to spend time with them. But when they made this calf, this fake God, they started to spend all of their time with it instead of God. And He got jealous. You know, we do all kinds of things throughout the day, whether it's chores or playing games or watching movies. all of it takes up time throughout our day. How much time do you spend with God? It's not hard to do, and you don't have to do it for very long, although 24/7 would be great. But it's just reading the Bible. These are words that God gave to you. There's amazing stories in here for you to read. And if you can't read them yourself, have someone read it to you. Now, you could read the Bible, or you could just talk to Him. You don't need a cell phone. You don't need to write a letter. You could just simply talk to Him and tell Him something that happened during the day. That's spending time with God, our Creator. He gets jealous when we don't spend time with Him. And it's all because He loves us and He wants to be with us. Man, I am tired. It has been a long but amazing day. We saw old ancient ruins and we learned what jealous God means. But I think it's time to find out what our souvenir of day 2 on Discovery Island is. I think to symbolize the 2 stone tablets that God wrote the 10 Commandments on, I think we should get 2 different rocks. And on one rock we write jealous, and on the other we write God. So when you put them together, they spell out jealous God. So that will remind us, one, of the 2 stone tablets with the 10 Commandments, and it will remind us to spend time with God throughout the day. So I will see you on day 3 of Discovery Island.